you. I'm excited for this for a couple reasons. One of the reasons, this whole idea for this presentation actually wasn't mine. We were in Kenya earlier this year and hanging out with the family, we were doing a bunch of cool things, and during one of the night sessions, Eileen Wild and I were talking, and in a conversation we were talking about this new company that I'm working on, I'm rolling out, called Secrets of Success. You guys maybe heard me mention it a little bit. And I was like, oh yeah, my goal is to go from 0 to $100 million in the next 24 months. And she's like, wait, what was that? I was like, oh yeah, my goal is to go from 0 to $100 million in recurring revenue in the next 24 months. She's like, how, like, you just rolled that off your tongue like that's not a big deal. I was like, I don't think it is that big of a deal. She's like, but you're gonna do it without software, like you did with ClickFunnels, because you had software, but how are you with information products? I was like, and anyway, the conversation kind of ended there because we didn't do something, I can't remember, lions were running around and it was a whole safari thing. So it ended there, and then a month later we were at the Atlas Mastermind group at Pirates Cove, and we had a little time left over at the very end, and I was like, hey, we got like an hour and a half to talk about something. What do you guys want to talk about? And Eileen's like, hey, remember in Kenya you said that you thought it was going to be really easy to go from 0 to $100 million in recurring revenue in the next year and a half or next 2 years? Like, you want to talk about that? And I was like, oh yeah. And so I sat down in front of the whiteboard, first time out of my head, just like mapping out, this is what I'm going to do first and second and third, and I mapped the whole thing out, and everyone at the end was freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, you made it so simple. I was like, oh, I thought this was just common sense to everybody. So you know how sometimes your superpower is the thing that doesn't make any sense to you? And so I was like, well, I wonder if I should share this in Funnel Hacking Live. Anybody interested in like seeing what I'm planning on doing? Yeah? Okay. So I got like an hour and a half, so I can go through the whole thing if you guys are interested. Okay. All right, you guys are cool with that. So the title of my presentation, if you throw my slides up here, the title of the presentation is How I Plan on Making Secrets of Success a $100 million a year company using Linchpin in the next 24 months, and how you can funnel hack what I'm doing in your business at the exact same time. Everybody up for that? Okay. It's not just $100 million a year. My goal is $100 million in recurring revenue. Like, that's what I'm trying to get to. Because as you know, if you don't have continuity, you don't have a business, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So that's kind of the game plan, what I'm going to share with you guys. Now, one thing I want to state before I go into this is not an income claim. I have not done this. I have no idea if it's going to work. In fact, my next slide is an income claim. I am not saying that I or you are going to make $100 million. That's not the goal. That's not what's happening. This is my goal. This is like my plan. In my head, I'm like, results or like what's my capacity? What can I actually do with this, right? And so this was my goal. So again, this is not an income claim. This is not a, you can do this. I've done this, like this is my plan. I'm trying to reverse engineer. So if I want to get to that, what does it actually look like, okay? So you guys cool if I share that then? Okay. So I'm gonna walk you through step by step exactly what I'm doing in the order I'm doing it. You'll also probably notice that what I'm doing is the linchpin. Okay, so that's no surprise to you. My goal with Funnel Hacking Live is like I wanted day number one to explain the linchpin as a whole, right? So that's why I did. I showed you here's the linchpin, here's attractive character flag, here's how it work. And the last 2 days we've gone through piece by piece by piece. You guys have seen all the pieces now. You've seen every piece of the linchpin, every piece of the attractive character flywheel. And so this presentation will be showing you very practical what I do step by step in the order I'm actually doing them. Right now I'm through like 12 of the steps and I'm doing it right now, okay? And so again, for you guys, I would like, as I'm going through the steps, just write them down in order because that's exactly what you should be doing in the same order, okay? People always ask me, like, Russell, if you were starting from scratch, what would you do differently? And so this is kind of fun because I'm starting from scratch, like I'm doing it differently, but I'm doing it in a very specific order and sequence. And that's what I'll share with you guys today, okay? All right, so step number one is I had to find something I was irrationally passionate about and go really, really deep. How many of you guys are irrationally passionate about the thing that you are obsessed with? Okay. If you're not irrationally passionate, this is the time of your life you gotta start becoming irrationally passionate. You have to start going deep on something, okay? Most people like they dabble in life, dabbling here. You gotta find something that you're excited by and then go deep, okay? Like for me, for example, I found a couple of Napoleon Hill books, I read them, I said, this is really, really good. And went and got some more, and then in the last 2 years, I bought, I think, approximately 15,000 books in the last 2 years based on Napoleon Hill and other people from that era. I didn't say 15 books, I said 15,000 books. You can ask my staff, my team. They think I have a disorder because eBay drops off 40 to 50 packages a day, every day for 2 years. But I got irrationally passionate. I want to know everything I possibly could, okay? Most people in your life are going to think you're weird. I promise you that. If you are actually irrationally passionate, like something's wrong. Should we send help? Should we call the doctors? Like, what should we do, right? If you're people that you love around you are starting to think that, you're probably on the right track, okay? You've got to be irrationally passionate about the topic you want to go deep on, okay? Especially if you're trying to build a company that's going to be $100 million a year, like you got to be obsessed with it, okay? So find obsession. Number two, after you found that, the second thing is that you got to figure out what is your definite purpose. What are you actually trying to do? Okay, day number one, I talked about that. Napoleon Hill says it over and over and over again. Like, you have to figure out, like, what is your definite purpose? What is the thing you are shooting towards? Right? I told you guys before when I started wrestling, like, I was just kind of in this hypnotic rhythm of, like, I'm wrestling until I saw Matt Woods win the state title. And I was like, that is what I want. In my business, I was just kind of like, oh, I'm doing whatever. So I saw John Reese sell $1 million a day, and I was like, I want that, definite purpose. So for me, I was like, what's my definite purpose? If it's good enough for Napoleon Hill, if Bruce Lee read Napoleon Hill and he wrote a definite purpose, I should make a definite purpose for this business. And so I sat down, I looked at Bruce Lee's definite purpose, and I wrote my own. So this is what my purpose said. It says, I, Russel Brunson, am going to build the largest personal development company in the world, serving over 100,000 active members a month, creating a ripple effect of growth and contribution that will change the world. In return, I will give my time, my effort, my resources to start this movement in a similar way that I did when I launched ClickFunnels. By December 2024, I will have sold 1 million copies of my new book, On the Road to 10 million copies within 5 years. And the Secrets of Success company will be making over $100 million a year and will become a household name. I will do this while keeping a successful marriage to my beautiful wife, Colette. Signed, Russel Brunson. So, there you go. There's my definite purpose. That's what I'm going for. Okay? When we built ClickFunnels, my definite purpose back then is I wanted to build the biggest marketing education company in the world. We did it. Right? Congratulations. That was so much fun. Now I want to do personal development. And some people ask me, like, so this is a whole different mission? Are you going somewhere different, Russell? Like, I thought we were all funnel hackers. And the reality is, I'm not changing. Okay? If you look at my world, I think I see in funnels, right? So here's the funnel, right? Now you guys are at the bottom of the funnel. You're like my most obsessed, crazy, awesome people, right? Yeah, I love you guys. If you go back a little more, like here's the 5,000 crazies here at Funnel Hacking Live. You go a little deeper, it's like there's the 2 CCXers and there's the inner circle, right? So the inner circle, 2 CCXers, Funnel Hacking Live, then you go like 100,000 ClickFunnels members, and then you go like 10 million people on our email lists, right? These are all people interested in marketing. And if I want to go one tier up, guess where one tier up is for me? It's the personal development space, right? One tier up. If you look at like how, in my mind, the way that the world works is that people are normal people. I think that Brad and Ryan always call them muggles. So the muggles, right? There's all the muggles who don't understand any of this world. What typically happens is someone's living their normal life, and somewhere along the line they join a network marketing opportunity or something. They get into that, they're like, I can make money. And then usually when they're in a network marketing opportunity, they listen to some Jim Rohn, some Tony Robbins, and they start this personal development journey, right? And then from personal development is where they usually end up leaving network marketing company, wanting to start their own thing, and that's where they come into my world. So I'm not changing my focus. I'm just creating one tier up in the funnel so I get more people into this world so I can serve them as entrepreneurs. Okay? Right here at the very top, this whole business is about finding people who are interested in growth and then transforming them into funnel hackers, which is where we focus on contribution. Okay? So that's my entire vision if you want to know what I'm doing. Some people are like, Russell, you're leaving this for that. No. I'm growing this by going after that. Okay? All right. So that's step number 2, figure out my definite purpose. Next part now. So now, day number 1, I talked about the 2 Combo Club Foundation. You come back to the Linchpin, it's this thing at the very bottom, right? So before I build my continuity, before I launch anything, I gotta make sure I'm building on a solid foundation, okay? So the way I do that, step number 3 here is I'm gonna build out my funnel hub, okay? Now, the funnel hub is interesting when you don't have any funnels yet, but I know I'm gonna have funnels in the future, so I start with my funnel hub. So I went to secretsofsuccess.com, I built my funnel hub, and the first goal of my funnel hub is to start capturing emails to build my email newsletter. Right? So I set up the funnel hub, I put in an opt-in box at the very top, and I started gathering emails. Okay, and I tried to figure out what is my newsletter going to be. You guys remember Perry talking about newsletters on day number 1? So I was like, well, I'm going to start a newsletter. For me, I want to do a daily newsletter. For most of you guys, it's probably not going to be daily, maybe I would say at least a weekly newsletter. But for me, I was like, I want to do a daily newsletter. And so the title of my newsletter is Secrets of Success Newsletter. It says, experience a daily breakthrough with the Secrets of Success Newsletter. Transform your life in just 2 minutes a day. Every morning, you're receiving an email inspired by success philosophers like Napoleon Hill, Orson Swett Martin, Elsie Lincoln Benedict, and more. They put in the email address, and boom, now they're on my newsletter. And I can start sending them really cool success stuff from my favorite authors. Okay? So I built my funnel hub with the ability to start capturing emails so I can start building my email list. Step number 3. This was an interesting exercise. I started doing this because, again, it's like, where do you start? Chicken and the egg. And then as I actually looked at me building this business, this is exactly the order I went in. Okay? Step number 3 then, funnel hub, then set up my email newsletter. Step number 4 then is I started actually writing my email newsletter. Now the problem with this is like, if you start writing an email newsletter and nobody subscribed to your list yet, what do, right? You're just talking to yourself. And so that's the question, like, Russell, I don't have an email list yet. You want me to start sending out emails? So the answer is like, you're probably not going to start sending out emails to nobody, but what I want you to do is I want you to get set up the very first email. When somebody first joins your list, what are the set of emails they get first, okay? And so what we do is we create what's called a follow-up funnel. It starts with 6 emails. Going through this process. Day number 1, you tell them who you are. Day number 2, you tell them what you do. Day number 3 is how you do it. Day number 4 is how you learned it. Day number 5 is who do you do it for. Day number 6 is how can you help them. Now this framework for this first 6 emails was actually invented and pioneered by Yada Golden. This is the picture of her here right now. She's been a funnel hacker forever. She's in our Category Kings group. And actually one cool thing for you guys, if you want a free gift. Who wants a free gift? About half of you guys want it? Who all wants the free gift? Okay. So Yada Gold and Jim Edwards got together and they made some really cool software that you guys get for free. So you go to you take a picture out with your phone, you can get it, 2comicalvex.com/5days. There's some software, you go in there and it'll ask you about your avatar, who you are, you fill in some buttons, you click a button, and it pops out the entire 6-day email sequence you can copy and paste into your first follow-ups. So there's a free gift from Jim Edwards and Yada. So there you go. Okay, so I set up those first 5 emails. Now I'm ready to go start building my list. And as soon as I get the first 10 people to join my list, then the newsletter begins. Everyone's like, well, I'm going to wait till I have 100 people, till I have 1,000 people. No. As soon as you get the first 10 people to join your list, now it begins. The game is on. Now you get to start emailing this list. Okay? All right. So now that I have the email, the foundation's in place, now I need to start the attractive character flywheel. Okay, start the motion, start momentum happening, right? So that's this next phase here on the Linchpin, is the attractive character flywheel. I'm going to start driving people to my email list. Okay? And so, there's the email list. So the first thing I told you guys, the first thing we should be doing to start driving traffic is shorts, right? So the way I do that is first I gotta get everything set up on my social platforms. So if you remember, I told you guys that what we gotta do is you gotta update your social profiles so they push back to your funnel hub, okay? I showed you an example of earlier how Daily Stoic does it, Cody Sanchez, like all of their social profiles has a quick bio, then all of them push back to join my email newsletter here. So I went to my social profiles and updated them all where now it says, sign up and transform your life in just 2 minutes a day, go to secretsofsuccess.com. So now I've updated all my social profiles. And then step number 6, I gotta start telling people about this everywhere, okay? This is one of the problems people have is that you don't assume you have anybody who could be on your email list yet, right? But all of you guys have something. You have Facebook or Instagram, or at least you have an email address. How many of you guys have an email address in this room? How many of you guys ever emailed somebody in the past? Like literally, this first phase is like getting everybody you've ever met in your life to go join your email newsletter. So it's literally going through email, like email everyone, hey, guess what? I launched an email newsletter, check it out here. And it's like going through, like manually emailing everybody. Going on your social things like, hey, I just launched an email newsletter, come join it. And it's going on Facebook. I just launched an email newsletter, come join it. I'm going on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything you have. I don't care how small your following is, you gotta start. And start talking about it and start getting people to join your list. Because as soon as you got 10, now your email newsletter is officially launched and you start doing it, right? So putting it out there, we're gonna start getting the process moving. Okay? Any way you can do it. If you have to go and like whatever it takes to start getting people to come, okay? Then we go and we start publishing shorts. Okay? Now when we start publishing shorts, as you know, most of the shorts aren't pushing directly to anything, right? If you look how Eric Thane talked about it, wasn't him like pitching to go sign up for my email newsletter. Your shorts are there to create value and hopefully go viral and start growing. So I'm doing these shorts, but if I do the shorts right, people see a short and like, oh, this person's awesome, who is this? And they go to follow you, which takes you to your link on the bio page, which happens to be joining my email newsletter, right? So the next step 7 here is like start publishing. Start doing your shorts quickly, okay? And after we hired Eric originally, we sat down and I recorded 51 videos in a day, setting a world record that was smashed a week later by Eileen Wilder. After I talked trash to her, like, Eileen, I did 51 videos, you will never beat that record. And a week later she boxed me and said, Russell, I did 52, I just smashed your record. And I was like, it was horrible, I'll never do 50 videos in a day again. And so she gets to keep that record forever. Unless one of you guys want to break it, because I am not. But we made a whole bunch of videos, okay? Following the perfect webinar framework that Eric Thane showed you. How many of you guys want to see one of them? Okay, here's one of the videos we recorded on that day where I did 51 of these videos. Here we go. Here's the #1 secret for making a lot of money with what you do. In the laws of success, the 8th law of success, Napoleon Hill said, the man who does more than he's paid for will soon get paid for more than he does. The reason why I love this principle is because a lot of times with my entrepreneurs, I talk about the concept of over-delivering. That's what Napoleon Hill is talking about in the 8th law of success. Is you have to over-deliver in every situation. Now this isn't just true in business, this is true in all your relationships. If you have a relationship with this spouse, and if you're always over-delivering that relationship, guess what happens? That relationship blossoms, you get more back from it. Same thing is true if you're an employee, you're working for a boss, right? If you're always over-delivering, giving them more than you're paid for, eventually you get paid more. And the same thing is true if you're an entrepreneur. With your customers, if you're always over-delivering as often as you can,
what happens is you start making more money in return. So understand this 8 laws of success, which I've nicknamed the law of over-delivering. If you use this in your life, it'll change everything. You'll make more money, you'll have more success, more happiness. So make sure you over-deliver in every aspect of your life.
There you go. I took a principle from a book I read, talked about it, and that was it, right? Provide a little piece of value. And notice I didn't say, go to my bio and go opt in. I'm just making cool videos. I think this video was seen by like 80 or 90,000 people. From that, we had 400 or 500 who actually joined my list, right? So it's just putting out these videos, putting them out there, and now people are coming back to your bio or to your profile or your bio. They click on it, join your list. Now your email newsletter is growing, and now we're in business. Now we can start messaging them, and the whole flywheel begins, and we start growing the Linchpin. Okay? All right. Bonus step number 7B, if you also want to add not just the short form videos but long form, you can as well. So I have a YouTube channel, so I started posting YouTube videos as well. And these were longer form. Basically, I took a book that I read and I did like how long is this video? Like a 20-minute or so, 20 minutes of me kind of teach the book. Like, here's the book I read, here's the 10 cool principles, and I talked about the principles in it. As I was talking about it in the video, I was like doodling stuff, and at the end I'm like, hey, if you want a copy of this doodle, go to secretsofsuccess.com/whatever, and you can opt in to my email newsletter, and I'll give you a free copy. So I started posting these videos on YouTube. Same thing, I pushed them to go get my doodle from the video. They would opt in right there, and they started joining my list. Okay, I'm doing all these activities to do what? I set that up wrong. I do all these activities to get people to join my what? There you go, that's better. Okay. All right, so that's the foundation of the Linchpin, how we get things started, right? Email newsletters, traffic coming, people are joining, and now we're in business. Okay, next phase now is building out the continuity. Now, in the past, whenever I build a continuity, I almost saw this as an afterthought. I was like, I'm creating a product and I'll attach continuity. But with this one, I'm like, the continuity is the business. I need to spend a lot more time like really thinking through the strategy of how to make a continuity program people are going to love, they're going to be obsessed with, they're never going to leave. I got to figure out how to do that, right? So as you know, that's this phase right here of the Linchpin is the continuity. And so I started focusing, number 1, on just level 1. I don't need to create 1, 2, and 3. I just got to figure out level 1 right now so I can get this thing launched, okay? So, again, step right here is creating a really good membership site in ClickFunnels, of course, because otherwise, it's not in ClickFunnels. Anyway, especially now with the new cool, the element on the side, you guys see that has the 3 different tiers and levels there. Again, now that they built that into everybody's, into your ClickFunnels 2.0 accounts, it's really, really exciting. Now something we had a custom code. I don't know if you see from here, you see there's 3 tabs, growth, mastery. Like, if you click on those, each is a different tier. And so if someone is a second tier, like if they're not on tier number, level 2 of continuity, like it has a page where they can upgrade, and they can upgrade inside the app, which is really, really cool. Anyway, that's besides the point. Okay, so I created a really good membership site inside of ClickFunnels. Now, a couple of things I did in the membership site that I think are really useful and hopefully will give you guys some ideas. Number 1, how many of you guys ever joined a membership site, you get excited, you log in, you're like pumped for it, and you leave and you never log in again, right? And then like a month goes by, 2 months go by, you need a bill, and you're like, I've never logged in, and you forget about it. So that's like, you lose people if they're not actually consuming your content. How do I get people to consume? And so one of the first things that I've been doing in all of my membership sites right now that works really, really well is I create a members-only premium podcast. Right? So someone comes in, the very first thing I tell them is like, welcome to the membership site. The first thing you need to do is subscribe to this podcast. And what it'll do is it takes the podcast feed and it pushes it directly to their phone on an actual podcast, on the app that they listen to the most. So if they're using Apple Podcasts, it goes to Apple Podcasts. If you're using Spotify, it goes to Spotify. But it goes to whatever platform they're currently using to listen to podcasts. This is important because a lot of people try to spend tons of time and energy, money making their own custom apps for this process. I actually believe this is, first off, a lot cheaper, a lot freer, and a lot easier way to do it. I remember there's a premium podcast platform I'm subscribed to called Wondery. Anyone here know Wondery? They have a whole bunch of podcasts like Business Wars and a bunch of other ones that are awesome. And so I signed up for the premium stuff. It's like $30 a year or something. I signed up for it, and then I logged the membership. They gave me 2 options. Number 1, download their app, or number 2, subscribe to the actual podcast you want, and it'll push it directly into whatever your favorite podcast reader is. So first I downloaded the app, and it was on my phone, hidden on that, you swipe to like the end, there's like a million apps, like hidden there, I never saw it again. But then I also luckily subscribed to the thing and pushed it directly to the podcast app I use, which is called Overcast. I think it's what it's called. Anyway, next day, I opened a podcast app to find a podcast. At the very top was like this premium podcast I paid for. So I clicked on it, I started listening to it, and I consumed 2.5 years now of this membership site without ever logging back into the membership site, without ever actually opening the app, because it was putting it into the podcast app I was actually listening to, right? I opened that app probably 500 times a day, right? And so it's super powerful. So what we did inside of all of our member sites is we have a premium podcast. There's two ways to do this. One way, ClickFunnels does have a way where you can create an RSS feed. You can do this, so it pushes directly into it. There's also a version where Jamie Smith made a hack inside of CF Pro Tools. You can go and you can upload your premium podcast, and it goes, they come subscribe here. It pushes directly to them. And what's cool about it is if they cancel their membership, it turns the podcast off. So they can't just listen to it for free, which is really cool. So it's one of my favorite ways to make sure people are consuming my content, even if they never come back to the membership site. That way, 3 months later, it's like, well, I keep listening, so I'm not going to cancel, even though they may not log back in. Okay? Members of the podcast. Number 2, we have different levels of continuity, $97 a month and $297 a month. And then step number 1, I did exactly what Stu told us yesterday. I created a success path, right? I have a beginning point where they're at, the goal I'm trying to get for them. I have the modules, he said between 3 and 7, right? 3 to 7 modules to take people through a success path to get them a certain result. So I built out a success path in there. And that was the very first step here inside of the membership site. Now, the next thing is, like, I know inside of membership sites, and this is true, I've noticed this especially like in my higher level programs, a lot of times people will come for one thing, but they stick for something else, right? Well, a lot of people join the inner circle because they're like, hey, I want to work really close with Russell, be around him. But after they get in the inner circle, they're like, Russell's actually not that cool. But they meet all the other people in the community, and they love the people, and so they stick for the community, right? So that's kind of how it works. So the same thing here, like they come for the membership site, they come for the success path, but the reason why they stick long term is because of the community. It's like I need to build a community when they come in because I need these people to stick long term. Because eventually they're gonna get bored with me. So the way we do it is by having a really amazing community, right? So we built a community, which you guys saw that as in ClickFunnels 2.0, it's a new feature you guys all have in your accounts where you can do community. And I was like, well, how am I gonna make this community really interesting and fun and like exciting? And so what I decided to do, because remember Stu talked about the other day how the problem with those membership sites is overwhelm. You have so much stuff that like people just get lost. But how many of you guys have a lot of stuff that you still like want people to have access to? You create a bunch of cool things, right? So I'm like, well, I have these cool things. And so what I did is inside of Secret Success, I have a library. And what I do with the library, it's kind of cool, is if you click on the library tab, it takes you over, it shows you all of my favorite authors I've been finding. Now, these authors, I've been finding their works, buying the rights to them, curating a bunch of stuff. And so like with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, we have an amazing partnership with them. We now have a ton of Napoleon Hill stuff. A lot of it's never been seen before, unpublished things, and they're all here inside the library, right? Same with Orson Slemar and these other people. We also just closed a deal with Nightingale Conant, who is the biggest personal development publisher in the world, where we're licensing most of their courses from over the years in here as well. So you can like click on the library, like here's all of these people, like the greatest thought leaders of all time. You click on one of their faces, it shows you everything in the library that's synced to them. Okay, now I don't give people access to everything at once because it leads to what? Overwhelm, right? So instead, I was looking, how did Audible do it? Well, Audible gives people credits every single month, right? So inside the membership site, when someone signs up, they'll get 2 credits every single month to go in there and pick 2 of the other audiobooks or courses they want to listen to, right? So every month they do that. And the reason why this is important is because I want people to stick long term, right? So if they sign up and it's like month 1, they get 2 credits, they unlock these 2 books. Month 2, they come back in and unlock 2 more. Eventually they've got 8 or 9 books in there. If they cancel, guess what happens? They lose them. It's like now if I cancel, like now there's pain and disconnect. There wasn't before. Right? Typical membership is not paying a disconnect. And so we set up this credit system where you come in every single month, you can unlock something. And again, this is a hack that Jamie Smith built for CF Pro Tools. You can use in your ClickFunnels 2.0 sites as well, where you can set up these little credits like this and people can unlock things. And every month you can get 1 credit, 5 credits, whatever it might be. Okay? So you have a credit system in there. And then the way that I'm plugging the community, it's like obviously everyone comes in, they go through the success path together, but each month I want to have a community book club where we can all hang out together. And so what I'll do is I'll pick one of the books. I'll say this month we're all reading Think and Grow Rich. Or this month we're all reading How to Get Anything You Want by Elsie Lincoln Benedict. Like we pick a book and I say, look, if the 2 credits you have, go buy whatever you want, but also make sure you get this book because all of us together, we're all reading this book together because it's gonna be so much fun. And so we all go read the book together, and then we have a section of the community where we can all sit here and we can nerd out about it. Like, oh, I read this, I found this, and I discovered this, and start going talking deeper and figuring things out, right? And then I can do live trainings throughout the week, and we can bring other people on, and we can like make it an experience where as a community, we're going deep on one topic and having a ton of fun with that. How many of you guys that's like a lot of fun? Yeah. So this is the things I'm doing to figure out how do I get people to stick in my membership site, right? I have a library of all this stuff. I let them unlock a couple each month, but then we do 1 each month as a community together, so that way we can all geek out and have fun together, okay? All right, so that's how we structured the membership site, the tier number 1 membership site. All right, so next phase is then now we've got to create the MIFKI, right? Member slice is done, now we've got to create the MIFKI. Now I told you guys when you create a MIFKI, there's a lot of things to talk about, but number one is like, you gotta create something that's useful but incomplete, but you also have to create something that's so sexy that people are gonna want it so bad, right? How do I create, literally how do we create the most irresistible free gift ever? So I was thinking like, how do we create something that's gonna be really unique that people can't get anywhere else? This is the only place in the world you can do it, okay? So we put together our MIFKI box, and this is what it kind of looks like. And so here's an actual copy of it right here, which is exciting. And I'm gonna show you guys what we decided to put inside of it, okay? The first thing we decided to put inside of it was a copy of Think and Grow Rich, because this is the foundation work from Napoleon Hill. But look at this copy over here. This is Think and Grow Rich, forward by Russel Brunson. So exciting, huh? And then this is actually one of our artists designed this picture of Napoleon Hill. So this is like a custom book, the only that we have. I want to make it very unique and interesting. And so this book is in the MIFKI box that we'll have. And this is important because if you think about Napoleon Hill or success, like this is the success book that sold the most copies in the history of all time. And most people have heard of it. Very few people nowadays, I feel, have even read it. How many of you guys, first off, who here has heard of Think and Grow Rich? Okay, now keep your hands up if you've read Think and Grow Rich. Holy cow, my people. I love you guys. All right. In most audiences, like, I've heard of it. Nobody's actually read it, okay? But anyway, so this will give people a chance to actually have this. This is cool, but the problem is, like, obviously, yes, you can buy Think and Grow Rich other places. Some people already had it. So it's good, but it's not great. So I'm like, I need some other stuff to make it great. What else could we do? And so I started, like, searching through the archives. Like, I got to create an offer that's completely irresistible. And this is the exercise. If you were to hire me for coaching, I would do it with you guys as well. Like, what can we create that's irresistible? Nope, they can't get anywhere else. We're going to go crazy for it. We got to find something else, right? So again, first one we did here was Think and Grow Rich. And the second one is when I told you guys I was going treasure hunting. We found this guy out in Arkansas who spent 20 years of his life collecting all this Napoleon Hill stuff. And so we flew out, I bought his entire collection, flew back home. As I'm going through all this stuff, there's this little book here that says, it'll place you wherever you wish to be among men. It's this little like booklet. I'm like, what is that? And I messaged him, like, what is that? He's like, oh. He's like, dude, this is the book that Napoleon Hill wrote in 1919. And the guy I was talking to didn't know it was MIFKI, but this was Napoleon Hill's MIFKI, okay? Napoleon Hill launched a magazine in 1919, and every single month of 1919, he wrote one article about applied psychology. So he did it for 12 months. After the first 6 months were done, he took those 6 articles, he put them into a book, and he put an ad out there, and the ad said, hey, you can buy a copy of this brand new book called It'll Place You Wherever You Wish to Be Amongst Men for $50, which $50 in 1919 is the equivalent of $3,200 today, or you get it for free if you join the magazine. Napoleon Hill had a MIFKI, you guys, and it is insane, okay? And this is it. And so I have been searching now for 2 years to find a second copy. This is the only copy I've ever seen ever. I called the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I'm like, have you heard of it? Like, we heard about it. Do you have a copy of it? I don't think they have one either. I've never seen this. This is the only copy I've seen. And so I asked them, I'm like, hey, will you allow me to republish this? And you guys met Don yesterday. He's amazing. And Justin Ben worked with him over time, and they decided yes. And so we took this book that was Napoleon Hill's MIFKI that sold for $50 in 1919, and we put it together. We took the first 6 that were in that book, plus the next 6, so all 12 articles he wrote on applied psychology. Inside of this book here, inside of the MIFKI, the only place on the planet to get it is inside the MIFKI. How many of you guys want to read this book? It is really, really, really good. I can just read you for the next hour if you wanted to. All right, here we go. Just kidding. Okay. So this is inside the MIFKI. You guys see how this, like, how you create something irresistible? Like, even if you hate Russell and you hate Think and Grow Rich, but you're like, the only way to read this is to get the offer. Like, okay. But then I was like, how do we make it even better? And so, one of my favorite things about Don Green, I love everything about him, but one of my favorite things is every week or so I get a random box in the mail from him, and I open it up, and I never know what it is. It's like Christmas every single day. So one day I open it up, and there's all these old manuscripts off a typewriter, and they're sitting there, like stapled together. And I look at it, and the front cover of this stack of paper says, The Secrets of Master Salesmanship. I was like, Napoleon Hill titled his manuscripts The Secrets of Master Salesmanship. Like, I swear it was cut from the exact same thread. Anyway, I look at this, and I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it must have been a book that he started writing and never finished it. I was like, can we put that in the MIFKI box as well? Like, sure. And so we took this, and this is basically a book that he was writing about how to use mindset to become a better salesperson. And it's all this whole manuscripts. I don't think anyone on this planet besides me has ever actually read this, and the whole thing is right here, and it is really, really, really good. How many of you guys want a copy of this book? Yeah! Okay, so this is where our Mifty is. So I'm getting so excited, I'm wandering, I'm losing my clicker. Here, there we go. So that's the second piece. So those are all the different pieces. Oops, let me go back one more. So those are all the pieces that are going into the front end Mifty. Okay? So again, irresistible offer. Right? I told you the hardest thing to sell is continuity. So how do I get them in? Well, let's make something really, really irresistible. Now what's cool is that I can promote this like, hey you guys, I've got 2 unpublished Napoleon Hill books, plus this other one you get for free when you're a membership site. I can go on podcasts to talk about it. I can go email newsletters. I can post on Facebook. Like it's a really fun, exciting offer to talk about. People are going to want to talk about it because it's like, hey, so I heard you got this unpublished manuscript. Tell me the story. I'll tell them the story and then tell the listeners you get it for free if you just go to blah.com, right? It becomes really fun when you can talk about the offer because it's really exciting like that. It makes it so much easier to get PR, to get on podcasts, to get on YouTube videos, interviews, things like that when it's something actually unique. Okay? That's how you create a really good offer. Now, the next step then is like, how do we turn this into a funnel? If you remember, I showed you guys what we were doing where on a Mifty we're getting 10% of people to upgrade to yearly, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make it, if I can, I'll map it out so you guys remember. So I showed you guys this before. So right here's the Mifty. They're going to sign up for $0 plus shipping, and then it puts them into continuity. And then what we're doing is upsell number 1. So OTO, one-time offer number 1, is to upgrade them from monthly continuity to yearly. Okay, so my goal is to have them pay $9.97 to get access for a year. So to do that, we need to create a really special offer, right? So the way we make a yearly offer traditionally is normally they're paying, if they pay right here, right, it's $97 a month. So you pay it times 12 months, ends up being whatever the math is on that one, $1,200. So for $9.97, you get 12 months for the price of 10 months, right? So you get 2 months for free. That's the first part of the offer. And that's typically what an upgrade offer is. If going from monthly to yearly, it's like, hey, you get 12 months for the cost of 10 months, right? But then the thought we had is like, well, how do we make this irresistible? How do we create a Mifty that we can attach to that? Where now it's like everybody wants to do that. Because if I can get 10% of people who sign up for a free thing to give me $1,000, I can spend way more money to sell more of these, right? But if I get 20% of the people to pay $1,000, I can spend twice as much money, right? If I get 30%, it's going to be insane. So my goal is to get this thing between 20 and 30% of people to upgrade to yearly because that'll give me the ability to outspend every other person on the planet. And so it's like, how do we create an irresistible offer? And so what we did is, someone's got to track me on this thing. Somebody yesterday was saying we should hook this thing to your belt and have one of those like little things that snaps back in. That would be awesome. So we created another most incredible free gift ever. So Napoleon Hill started writing a book called Hand of Destiny. Is he the best at naming things ever? The Hand of Destiny. So when I acquired the estate from that guy, they had been collecting this for 20 years, and I brought it all home. One of the things I found is there's this huge manuscripts of unpublished. It was all of his stuff straight from his typewriter, had all Napoleon Hill edits in it. It was crazy because like, as you're flipping through, you see he had a headline for like a chapter and he didn't like the headline, so he'd get his typewriter out, he put it in, he typed in a headline, then he would cut the headline out and then literally paste it over the old headline, which I'm assuming is where cut and paste came from, right? It was really cool. And his notes, his hand, like everything was in there. It was the coolest thing in the world. And I remember when I was buying it from this guy, he was showing me all the manuscripts and we were negotiating the price back and forth. And I was like, well, what do you think this thing's worth? And he's like, well, just so for context, he's like, I used to charge people $10,000 a day to come to my house to read these. Because they're not anywhere else. It's not something that a lot of people have. It's like, this is the only place to read it. So people paid him $10,000 to come to his house and then start reading it. So, and obviously he was price anchoring me, but I was like, well, how much will you sell it to me for? And he's like, I'll sell it to you for $10,000 per page. I was like, oh, $10,000 a page? He looked at me straight, yeah. I was like, well, all the page, like even like the title page, there's only like 3 words on that. Like, how does that work? Anyway, we negotiated back and forth, and eventually I acquired the entire manuscript for about $5,000 per page, which is insane. But it was like the coolest thing in the world. And so eventually I was like, I could sell this to something, but I was like, man, if I want to create the most irresistible free gift ever, what if everybody who's upgraded to yearly, I gave it to them for free? But the only way to get it is by upgrading yearly. I think I could use that to get 20% of people upgrade, 30%? Or I don't know. And so check this out what we did. This is one of our favorite projects. Jenny has been working on this forever. So this is what Hand of Destiny turned out to be. And if you look what we did on this, we made it where we took the page. Yes, see this? This is the page scanned from Napoleon Hill's works. You can see all his edits in there. and then our editors went through and edited it to match what it was. So you can read it, the edited version, where actually see his notes, see where he cut and paste things. It's one of the coolest things ever. Isn't that awesome? And back in the day when they printed paper, they would print the paper, they'd fold it, put it in a book, and they would manually cut it. A lot of times back in the day, they wouldn't actually cut the pages, so we had the printers not actually cut the pages like the way you would have gotten it back in the 1900s. So like each of the pages here, like to read it, you have to like split the pages open, like you would have a book back in the early 1900s. This is a beautiful piece of art that I'm excited for. Take my money. You can give me your money anytime you want. So I have a lot of funnels for that. How cool is that? The most incredible free gift ever, okay? If I want someone to upgrade in continuity, what do I give them? I gotta figure out what is the most incredible free gift ever I could give them to do the same, okay? Every time you create any offer, this is the question through your head. How do I create the most incredible free gift ever so they'd be insane to not say yes to the thing I'm trying to sell them? Okay, so I took this book I paid $5,000 per page for, and they get it for free when they upgrade to yearly, okay? Some of you guys are like, Russell, that's really cool, but I don't have the thing I paid $5,000 a page for. Okay? Well, create something awesome. Make a story. I tell a story behind it. Like, I tell the story to increase the perceived value. If I'm like, hey, I got this whole book, who wants it? I told the story, and just to have a chance to read this worth $10,000 a day, to buy it and be $5,000 a page, and I get it for free when I upgrade here. Okay, if I get that to 25, 30%, imagine how much money I can spend in ads to blow this thing up. It's crazy. Irresistible offer, okay? So there it is. That's how I'm building out the MIFKE funnel to be able to launch this thing, right? So step number 11 now is building the MIFKE funnel. And then we started writing the copy. So this is my first take. I was laying in bed one night. I think I did an Instagram about this. I was like, I'm writing the copy for this. Anyway. And again, the copy for a MIFKE is very, very simple. It's not this big complex thing. It's what's the offer? So the offer is like, hey, test drive the new Secrets of Success membership and community for 30 days. And we're going to ship you these 3 gifts for free just for saying maybe. Gift 1, gift 2, gift 3. Plus we give you free access to an audio presentation. Well, anyway, so it's like just an irresistible offer. So this page is not finished yet. This is where, by the way, in the process I am right now. I think we're like a week and a half, 2 weeks away from finishing the MIFKE funnel and then launch. So in the timeline of events of launch this company, this is the phase I'm at right now as we speak. Okay, so that'll be the MIFKE offer. Upsell will be handed Destiny. They get for free when they upgrade to yearly. Okay. Now, after that's done, the next step is to launch the MIFKE. Now, if you've been doing the things we talked about prior, doing the short form videos, doing the long form, like sending messages everywhere, get people to join your email list, now you got an audience, you got people who are there, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna email our newsletters, people on email newsletter over to go buy the MIFKE and say, hey, MIFKE's done, go sign up, go get the most incredible free gift ever. And now people start buying, starting in continuity. Now we're officially like in revenue, in business, right? And then I can start making shorts that don't just push my email newsletter. I get shorts that also push my MIFKE. I start doing long form videos that don't just push my email newsletter. Now they also push my MIFKE. Right, so now all this focus starts going down on the MIFKE now that offer is in place. If you remember yesterday I was talking about this, I said the MIFKE offer is for your hot traffic. It's people who know you. It's people who are on your email list, people who are following you on shorts, people who are following you on long form platforms, right? It's warm traffic. That's who you're sending all the traffic to. Okay? So start promoting the MIFKE every single way we can. Okay? Now we're going to promote it from all of our existing assets and resources, from our email list, social, things like that. Now we're going to start promoting it to my Dream 100. The Dream 100, once again, these are the people who already have your dream customers on their email lists. Okay? It's a section up here, Dream 100, the third part of the attractive character flywheel. We're going to get those people to also promote the MIFKE. Okay? So the way we do this process is very simple, is we build a Dream 100 board. The way I do it in Trello. So I build a Trello board, and Trello, I make a column for different things. So I have a column that says authors. And I go and find who are all the authors who have written a book on a similar topic who might be interested in promoting this. Okay? If you always listen to Catherine Jones' presentation, that was probably that by far was the best presentation I've ever seen on joint ventures in my life. Okay? Do you guys agree? I've been doing this for a long, long time. I've heard people talk about joint ventures. It was amazing. When you were just talking about like who's the person right before your customer and after, like how you figure it out, like this is what I'm doing right now. So I'm saying, okay, of all the authors, who has got a book that either similar audience or someone that would read that and then would need my thing next, and I make a list and I put all the authors that I can think of. Then I go to podcasts, I open up iTunes, I go to the podcast directory, I go categories, personal development, and I look at all the personal development podcasts, I put them all on the list, and I got 200, I think iTunes lists the top 200 podcasts. So I take all 200 people who have a podcast in my market, and I put them all in there. And I look at the tangential podcast categories, right? Oh, there's business people like personal development. Oh, there's health people like personal development. So I go and I get 300, 400, 500 people who have podcasts that potentially could sell the Nifty. I make a call, I put all those guys in the column. Then I go to the blogs, find all the bloggers on these topics, right? Then I go and find who has email newsletters. I go and find who's got Instagram channels, who's got YouTube channels, and I build out a Dream 100 board. I've been talking about this building a Dream 100 board for almost 20 years now, okay? And I don't know why, for some reason, I can't get people to believe me that this is like the most important thing you could possibly do. When we launched ClickFunnels, I spent 3 or 4 days building this dream board out. I spent the next 2 years contacting people. That's when we built ClickFunnels. We didn't buy our first ad in ClickFunnels for 2 years. All I did was this. Okay? So you go through and you build out your Dream 100 board, and then what we do is we create a joint venture page, a JV page we can send to these people. In fact, you can see the Secrets of Success JV page if you want to take a screenshot of that. If you go secretsofsuccess.com/JV, you'll see how we structure it. It's a video of me and Justin talking about the most irresistible free gift ever, what we're doing. We give them dates, times, here's when it launches, how it goes live, here's how to become an affiliate. We give them all the information on that page, and now we go out there and we start contacting these people, saying, hey, this is an offer coming out soon. You want to promote it? This is the commissions. This is how it works. And then we start doing the work. It's going out there and having conversation after conversation after conversation. I've been messaging people and talking. Justin's been messaging people and talking to them. Like, we're doing this thing manually, grassroots, because that's how you grow a movement. Okay? So we start getting our joint venture partners to also promote the Nifty. All right? Okay, so those are the first couple phases, you guys. Build the foundation. Yes, thank you. Build the foundation. Get the continuity program. Get the Nifty, and we launch it. Now, some of you guys, that's all you need to do, and you're gonna be you're gonna start making money. You're gonna be good. Some of you guys will never get past that phase, and that's okay. Okay, the Linchpin's a big thing. It's like, here's all the frameworks, all sorts of stuff. But the reality is, like, you don't have to have all the things to be successful. If you just stopped right here and then just focus on getting people to buy your Nifty, you can build a really, really good business off of that. Okay? The other stuff is for the crazy people like me who are like, I want to grow it to $1 billion. You know, like, but you can stop right now and be making really good revenue. Okay? But I want to show you guys the path to 100 million. Is that cool? Yes, sir. Just because, like, this is like a fundamental exercise for me. Like, how do I get to $100 million? Like, how do I reverse engineer? What do the numbers look like? Because for me, if I can see the goal and I have a definite purpose, like, that's what I need. If I know exactly what it looks like, exactly how to get it, I can start running and chasing it. Okay? So again, this is an exercise. Once again, everybody's disclaimer. I'm not telling you this is what to do or how to do it. I'm saying this is me reverse engineering what it will take for me to do this. Okay? All right, so this is what I figured. When people sign up for the Nifty, about half the people can sign up for it and then be like, cancel the next day because they just want the free stuff. And I understand, it's part of the game. But 50% are going to stay as active members. Now, when you start breaking up 3 different levels of continuity, we've been doing this now for a long time. It's like ClickFunnels with other businesses. This is about where the numbers shift down, okay, or they kind of settle in. About 71.5% of members will be at the tier number 1. About 25% of members will upgrade to tier number 2. And about 3.5 will go on a high ticket thing. Okay, if you look at ClickFunnels as a whole, like ClickFunnels, 2CCX, like all it kind of shakes down into those basic numbers. Okay, so all of my assumptions are based on that percentage breakdown. So the next question is like, well, how many people do I have to actually have to fill in each tier of continuity? All right. If my goal is $100 million a year. So if my goal is $100 million a year, these are my 3 levels of continuity. There's $97 a month. And 71.5% be there, 25% be there, 3.5% people be there. If I talk slower. Come on, Russell, talk slower. I get so excited, my tongue can't keep up with me. Like, so, hopefully you feel my excitement though, and you can forgive me for my awkwardness. Okay. All right, so I did the math backwards. For me, if I get 45,000 total members to stick in here, this is where it all shakes down, okay? It means 35,000 members will be $97 a month. Do the math on that, that's $3.3 million a month, or $40 million a year becoming at that tier at 3,500 members, okay? Now I said 25% of the people will ascend. So of the 45,000, 25% will ascend up to the second tier, right? So that's 25%, that's 8,750 people at $297 a month. That's $2.5 million monthly, or $31 million a year. So you take $40 million a year plus $30 million a year, that's $71 million a year-ish. And then 3.5% will upgrade to a $25,000 a year program. You do the math on that, it's an extra $30 million. You add all 3 of those up, it ends up being $102 million a year. So that cool? So for me to get, thank you. Okay, so for me to get to the point where this business, this brand is doing $100 million a a year in recurring revenue, I have to get 45,000 members. So now I've got a definite purpose. How do we get 45,000 members to join the next 2 years? If I can do that, all the numbers shake down and boom, I hit my goal, okay? And so that's kind of the numbers I want to share with you guys. So if you look at that, like the question that I figured out is, okay, well, how many MIFKEs do I have to sell a day? So if I get 124 members per day to sign up for the MIFKE, in 1 year I'll have 45,000 members. Okay, but if only 50% of those people stay, it means I have to get about 248 trials per day to get to the numbers I need. Okay, so for me that's the target. I can give away, if I give away 248 MIFKEs a day for a year, I'll hit my numbers and boom, we'll have a big celebration. Okay? So now definite purpose, what I gotta do? I give away 250 a day. If I give away 250 MIFKEs a day, boom, I hit my goal. Is this how you guys think as well? Reverse engineer things? Okay? Now some of you guys may be looking and say, well, $100 million seems like a lot, Russell. Like, my goal is not to make $100 million. I mean, that's cool, kind of big. Woo, you're out in the stars. So maybe your goal is like, I don't want to make $100 million a year, Russell. I just came here because I wanted a 2-column level board. So I'm going to show you the numbers. Based on those numbers, if you reverse engineer, you'll get 45,000 members a year, gets you to $100 million. That means for $10 million, 4,500 members a year, 4,500 members will get you $10 million a year. If you want to make $1 million a year, that's 450 members. That's just not hard, right? If I got to get 250 members a day, you got to get 450 members over a year, you get to the goal you wanted of $1 million in recurring revenue, right? And so if you look at that, 450 people to get $1 million, that's just 2.4 MIFKEs a day. So my question for you is, you're sitting around and you're going to the office, working your job, and you got 8 hours a day to sit behind your computer, playing on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and you had 8 hours a day. Do you think in 8 hours a day you could give away 2.4 MIFKEs? Yeah. Like, is it that hard? It's like I got 8 hours, I'm gonna go do one podcast interview. So I'm gonna email 30 people who are on podcasts today, and hopefully one of them responds. I'll do a podcast interview, I'm gonna give away 8, which means I can sleep the rest of the week. Right? It's kind of easy. So this is the way I look at it. It's reverse engineer. Like if your goal is, I want $1 million recurring revenue by this time next year, cool. You got 450 people to buy MIFKE, it's 2.4 a day. You got 8 hours a day to figure out how to sell 2.4 MIFKEs a day. And you're not even selling. All you're doing is making an irresistible offer. It's not that hard, is it? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm being, I don't know. I'm very optimistic, but it seems pretty easy. Okay? I was thinking about this with my wife and I. This is a picture of the first year of marriage. We got married, and we were broke, and so we cut up our credit cards. By the time our credit card payments were like $1,000, sorry, it wasn't $1,000 a month, but let's say you do have credit card payments $1,000 a month, and you want to get rid of those. If you just get 10 people to buy your MIFKE, that covers your credit card payments. And then you can keep your credit cards. I usually cut them up and pay them off, but like, does that make sense? Like, when you start thinking about your business in recurring revenue like this, it starts getting really, really fun, right? What do you want in life? What's the pain you're in today? Like maybe you have a job and you hate your boss, right? Maybe your boss is insane. You're like, I need to be out of here, but I can't because right now I make $5,000 a month, right? Or $10,000 a month, whatever the number is. How many MIFKEs do I have to get? How many people need to join my continuity where I can fire my boss? And now I'm out of that pain, right? My guess is probably gonna be a lot less than you think. 30, 50, 100 people, and all of a sudden you're free. And when you're free from that, now it's like, hey, now I'm in debt. I gotta get 30 members, now cover my debt payment, now I'm out of debt. Now what do I want? And then you start dreaming again, like, what can I create? What can I be? Like, what do I want? Some of you guys want cars, Lambos. Some of you guys want to do charity work. Some of you guys want, it doesn't matter, but you can start dreaming again about whatever you want. Okay, that's the magic of understanding and really mastering this continuity. Okay? Now, so far, all we've talked about so far is just the first couple levels, right? We talked about the MIFKE and level 1 continuity and driving some traffic to it. Okay? Now, we call that first phase Ignite. Okay? That's how we ignite. Now we're in business. Now we're selling stuff, like we're off to the races. Now this will be a lot of fun. Okay? The first phase is Ignite. There are 3 phases in this process. There's Ignite, there's Nail It, and there's Scale It. Okay? Now the Ignite phase, again, covers getting your level 1 continuity up, getting your MIFKE done, and then launching it. And again, for some of you guys, this is as far as you're going to go, and you're going to get like 50 or 100 members on continuity, you're like, I'm done, I'm free, and you're going to be happy, you're going to live a lifestyle business, and that's totally, perfectly fine and okay. Okay? Now some of you guys know, we're going to be a little crazy, and you're like, I want to grow this thing. What's possible? How many people's lives can actually change what they can try to sell? And so you move into phase number 2, which is Nail It, which is like, now we got to nail the challenge in the webinar. My presentation, I got to start speaking to warmer traffic and cold traffic. So my skill set has to get up. I can learn how to speak, how to sell, right? It's a little bit different, okay? If you're doing live events and things like that. And again, this is when you really want to nail it. This is when you gotta like increase your skill set. So for those who are like, I just want a lifestyle business, you stop after step 3 and just chill. Those who want to go crazy, this is where we're going to start nailing it, and now we're going to start getting your other skill sets in place so we can start growing and scaling. Okay? That's when we start doing challenges, webinars, these other pieces. okay? This is where we move now to level number 2 of the continuity program. Okay, we're adding the second tier. And again, some of you guys will never build second tier because you're good at one tier right there. But now, if we want to grow it, now we build a second level of continuity, okay? And then we're going to use the dramatic demonstrations through their challenge or webinar to sell people into the second level continuity, the higher level continuity, okay? So my mind is now, how do I create level 2 continuity? Can anybody guess? I'll give you a hint. There was this guy out here who looks like a warrior who was yelling at you guys about how to do this. Okay? Level 2, I take the same frameworks I'm teaching on the success path in level 1, but now I'm creating facilitated events to help implement these frameworks with people. Right? So level 2 will be $297 a month, and now we have facilitated events where people have a chance to go deep on the topics and the principles to get them from A to Z. Okay? The way we're structuring in our membership site, you can see, is basically it's like you can do it self-guided, where you just go watch the videos, or you can jump on a live event, and we run these live events once a week or twice a week, whatever it is. They jump on, they have a facilitator, same process that Garrett showed you guys yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I don't know what day out we're on right now. But facilitate events, that's how we can increase the price of what we're selling. Remember I told you guys people will spend the same money or people will pay more money for the same content package in a different way. Right? When they upgrade to level 2, now it's facilitated content that will only pay more money. So the question is like, well, how do I get people to upgrade to level 2? They can imagine just pay me more money? They might, but if I can create an irresistible offer, they're more likely to upgrade. So the next thing is like, how do I create a new MIFTY that gets people to upgrade to the next level? Okay? So for me, I'm like, that's the question. How do we create another MIFTY that gets people to the next tier continuity? Okay? And so for this MIFTY, we started going back to the archives, all the stuff I was buying, like what else is in here? And we found this old course called The Master Key System by Charles Haanel. Anyone here read that by chance? Yeah, we got some Master Keys people in here. So Charles Haanel, and this is crazy, when we were doing the work on this, Jenny, my assistant, actually found a testimonial that Napoleon Hill wrote to Charles Haanel saying, I read the Master Key System, it completely changed my life. Is that crazy? So we found the Master Key System. I found an original first edition, back when it was a mail order course, before it was ever in books. We got the rights to republish that. We put it together. And now when people upgrade to level 2 continuity, one of the things they get for free is they get the Master Key Systems in a book and a workbook format. And it looks just like the old original ones, only way cooler. Okay? So now we've got an irresistible offer. So now we got to go and we got to create a funnel to upgrade people from one tier to the next. Okay? So before I ever do a challenge or webinar, I already have some people paying me $97 a month. I'm just going to ask them first, like, hey, you guys want to pay me more? Because I got a really cool offer. Okay, this is what we did in the Dan Kennedy business. After Dan Kennedy, we spent the first year of our business focusing on building up that level 1 continuity. And then we opened level 2 continuity. It's called Diamond for $297 a month. And then we put up a page called diamondupgrade.com. You can go see the page if you want to. It's like, hey, if you upgrade to the $297 a month level, we'll give you Dan Kennedy's fax book for free. Nifty. Right? And so I'm going to create an upgrade funnel for existing members. So the upgrade funnel will basically come back and it'll have this right here and say, hey, if you want to upgrade from Secret Success level 1 to level 2, you'll get this for free. And it's a very simple, easy funnel. Not complicated, again, straight from the jugular. These people already know you, they're already in the community, they already love you. You're just giving them a reason to upgrade, and the reason is like this really cool offer you make for them. Okay? And again, typical style. So the goal is to get people moving from level 1 to level 2. Let me tell you guys a story that happened in ClickFunnels. How many of you guys have been here in ClickFunnels since year number 1? Okay, my people, thanks for hanging out the whole time. I love you guys. So year number 1 of ClickFunnels, we only had the $97 a month level. The entire first year. After the first year, me and Todd and Brent and John, everyone got in a room and we're like, hey, our people want a bunch of stuff. They want to be able to send emails. They want to be able to do these other things. And we didn't have any of those things as features. We just did funnels. And so we decided to create a bunch of stuff together. We put together a thing called Actionetics, which was like this thing that did emails and other stuff. We added the ClickFunnels, and you can upgrade from $97 a month ClickFunnels to $297 a month to get access to this new part of the platform, right? We put it out there after year 1. We launched it, and I was kind of upset because year 1 we had 10,000 members. We only ended up getting like 1,000 people to upgrade, or maybe it was more than that. It was 2,000 or so people upgraded from level 1 to level 2. I'm like, oh, only 20% of our members wanted it. And Todd said, no, look at this. He's like, 20% of members upgraded, but all of our revenue is now coming from level 2. 10,000 people pay $97 a month, $1 million a month. 2,000 people paid $300 a month is what, 600,000 a month, right? It's like so much more income came just by getting people to upgrade. Like getting people to send from one level to another, just boom, your profit margins explodes. right? It's just simple and easy, okay? So the next goal is getting our existing members to ascend from level 1 to level 2. We do it with a really simple funnel called an upgrade funnel, okay? Now after that's in place, now we have level 2 continuities done, it's happening. We already have a really good Nifty offer to get people in. Now is when we launch our very first dramatic demonstration, right? We already have people level 2, so now we're gonna go back and launch a dramatic demonstration because we have the Nifty, we already have the offer we're gonna create now to the masses, okay? And so, again, as we talked about yesterday when Steve Larson and I were on stage, the two best dramatic demonstrations are a free challenge funnel or a free webinar funnel. And so the question is like, we gotta create a really good hook, right? Steve spent like 30 minutes on stage talking about hooks, how do you find hooks? And so for me, it's like, well, what hooks can I create for this, right? I have secrets of success. For me, most of my best hooks are from old books I'm finding and no one's ever heard of before. I found a book the other day, by the way. The title of the book was called The Atom-Crushing Power of the Mind. Is that a cool title?
What?
Anyway, no one's ever heard of that book, right? Anyone ever read that? Oh, that's a good title. That could be a hook. What if I did The Atom-Crushing Power of the Mind free challenge? Anyway, so I started thinking about like, what are the things I have that I could create a really cool dramatic demonstration around? This book set right here, when I was flying home after I treasure hunted and found this thing, the guy sold me his entire estate after I bought it and like sent him the money, everything closed down. He's like, there's one more book I didn't include in it. You want to see it? I'm like, oh, the upsell. He got me. And he was like, it's this book. And he showed me this book set he had found. It was a book set that Napoleon Hill wrote in 1945. It's called The Mental Dynamite. And he wrote it. He was going to publish it, but it was right during World War II. He tried to publish it, but there was a paper and an ink shortage, so it never got published. There's only, I think, a dozen or so copies ever printed, and that was one of them, called Mental Dynamite. Now, I haven't talked to Don Green about this yet, but imagine if I can get Don to agree and say, hey, Russell, or if I say, hey, Don, can I do a challenge called the Mental Dynamite Challenge, where you're going to learn all these principles from Napoleon Hill that no one's ever heard about, that he wrote in 1945? Can I do that? He might say yes. And I can do the Mental Dynamite Challenge. Or another one, there's other books that I found called The Science of Success. This is Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone did a partnership together, and they created this thing called The Science of Success. How many of you guys like to be the Science of Success Summit, or Challenge, or whatever? We go through the course over here. This course, this is the only copy I've ever seen ever. And I got the clean copy. If I can get permission from the foundation, that can become a challenge. This is the Hand of Destiny. I can do a Hand of Destiny challenge. Like I'm looking for hooks from old books I can use to create challenges. So I launch a challenge, somebody registers for the challenge, thank you page, I give them the MIFKI, and the whole process starts, right? So the next question people always have, and they get stuck, is like, well, how do you plug the MIFKI into a challenge, okay? And so you have to understand that there's a couple funnels here, right? It's my pocket, so I don't lose it. So this is the MIFKI funnel I showed you earlier, right? It's just a straight up, again, if you want to sit down, if you go to nobsletter.com, that's the MIFKI. It's just selling the MIFKI and the trial of continuity, and that's all this funnel is. Now, thank you page MIFKI is a little bit different. The offer is structured a little bit different. Okay, so an example of the thank you page MIFKI is when people registered for the Your First Funnel Challenge, you register for the challenge, thank you page, so thank you so much for registering for the Your First Funnel Challenge. Okay, there's going to be 3 things I include in a thank you page MIFKI offer. Okay, first thing I said, look, now that you're part of the challenge, most people, they have an upgrade option where you can upgrade and become a VIP, which means you get your live Q&A, you get a bunch of other cool things, and most people charge $97 for the VIP upgrade. I want to give you this VIP upgrade for free when you join Continuity, okay? So the first part is you get VIP experience. Normally, most people sell it $97, $47 something. You get it for free, and you get the trial of the Continuity, and you get the MIFKI box. Okay, for Secrets of Success, when I start doing these challenges, we do a Think and Grow Rich challenge, whatever it is, you'll register for Think and Grow Rich challenge and say, hey, thanks so much for registering. If you want to be part of the VIP experience, normally people sell a VIP for $97. I'm going to give you a VIP for free, and I'm going to give you this huge box, all these books for free, when you sign up for the Secrets of Success membership site. That's it. That's the offer. Okay, so I'm tweaking a little bit, but the components are the same. I'm just adding a VIP experience, and I still get the trial continuity, I still get the MIFKI box. Does that make sense? Okay, so it is a different page. It's not like they register, I send them directly to MIFKI. I'm taking and making a new page, tweaking the offer a little bit, but it's all leading people to the exact same continuity program. Okay, so we go and we create that. We create the registration for the dramatic demonstration. Thank you, page MIFKI, and then after that's done, now we start focusing all of the traffic from the flywheel to the dramatic demonstration. Okay. So that means everything from shorts to longs to Dream 100s to our email newsletter, everything is dumped into this thing that we're doing called dramatic demonstration. Now for me, the cadence we're kind of doing it right now is that once a quarter, with ClickFunnels you probably noticed, about once a quarter we're doing a dramatic demonstration. Okay? Secrets to success will probably be similar. About once a quarter, I'll do a dramatic demonstration focused on this. We'll put it all together, and then all the focus of our traffic will shift from promoting the Mifty directly to like, hey, we're doing this huge dramatic demonstration. Everyone goes there. We promote it really, really hard, and the goal is to get a whole bunch of people to join. Okay? And we repeat this process over and over and over again. Okay? And so at that point, we start watching the continuity grow. Traffic's coming from Mifty, continuity is growing. People join the challenge, they hit the thank you page, the continuity is growing. Okay, again, for me, I have to get 35,000 members to join me at the $97 a month level. Okay? Then at the end of the challenge, the webinar, then I sell my $997 thing where they get 3 months of free access to level 2 continuity. Right? And that happens right here at the end of every challenge, every dramatic demonstration. We make an offer, just like I showed you, just make an offer. You have a Mifty. Basically, again, so you have a $1,000 product. You give them the Mifty and upgrade to a couple months for free at level 2. That happens there. And that's where there's 25% of people we get them to upgrade from $97 a month to $297 a month. And then the last step is then, some broad stuff. Sorry, one more thing. I want to show you the other real cool thing about dramatic demonstrations. So we do with our dramatic demonstrations, I'm going to say challenge. I'm going to say, this is the Think and Grow Rich Challenge, right? People come here, they register for the thing. It takes them to the thank you page, Mifty, which then puts people onto continuity, right? Again, this is the goal. From here, they go through a 5-day challenge, 1, 2, 3. At the end of each of these 3 days, we push people to continuity, push people to continuity, push people to continuity. And then day 4 and day 5, we push people to basically for $997. What they do is they get a course, plus they get the big Mifty. So in our example, they get the Charles Handel Mifty, plus they get level 2 continuity, like 3 months for free. Okay. What happens is what we do is we take this and we launch this thing, Grow Rich Challenge, initially to our email list, to all of our traffic sources. So Dream Hunter, everyone promotes this thing live. Whole live challenge happens. At the end of it, hopefully, if we do this right, let's say we get 1,000 new people to join continuity, which is amazing. From that, let's say on the end of this, we get 50 people to pay for $997. That means from here we made $50,000. When it's over, then the next phase is this: we turn the live dramatic demonstration evergreen. Okay, so for us, if you notice, every challenge I've ever done in the past then becomes evergreen like 2 weeks later. We launch this thing evergreen, but the key you have to remember is that all the money you sold right here, after you evergreen it, like, this is not your money. Whose money is this? You guys remember whose money this is? This is Zuckerberg's money, right? Your money's right here. This is where your money comes from. So I evergreen this whole thing, and the problem a lot of you guys are gonna do is you're gonna take this money, while it's being evergreen, you're like, well, I got a couple weeks before this is gonna go live again. I'm gonna go buy myself a new car. I'm gonna go buy myself a trip. We're gonna go party as a family. It's like, no, you can't. Like, this is not your money. This is Mark Zuckerberg's money. Don't touch it. Put it in a different account, hide it, separate it from something. This is your money, Zuckerberg's money. Your money, Zuckerberg's money, right? Okay, everything is evergreen. The second it's done evergreen, you take Zuckerberg's money, you give it back to him. Zuckerberg then sends you more people. They come through here, they drop down here, bunch of continuity, more continuity, they come, they buy, and then boom, more money pops out for Zuckerberg. Like, sweet man, thanks. You take that money, you give it back to Zuckerberg, and you do it again. And you just do this process over and over and over again. What happens is every single week, you add 10 people here, 30 people here, 100 people here, 500 people here. It keeps growing, compounding continuity, compounding continuity, compounding continuity. Over and over and over again, right? So yeah, you guys like that? And then, again, if I'm doing a new challenge, because Steve talked about hooks, a lot of hooks, there are different hooks out there, right? I do one challenge each quarter. I do this challenge once, I launch it, go through a process, I evergreen. That now is a sales tool to be dropping people in my continuity for the rest of my life. It runs over here, and then next quarter I do a new challenge. Think and Grow Challenge is rocking and rolling and it's running. Now I'm gonna do the Master Keys Challenge. I'm gonna do the whatever challenge. I'm gonna do we pick a new challenge, launch it, do the whole process live, drive traffic my email list, dream JV partners, everyone's driving traffic to it. We go through the process, make a bunch of money, and then I'm disciplined. I get to keep this money, Zuckerberg keeps this money, I evergreen. Now I got 2 evergreen funnels, drive through my continuity program. And I do it again, right? Next quarter I do it again, and in a year from now, you guys have 4 dramatic demonstrations on autopilot, evergreen, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, dropping people into the bottom line. And does it cost you money? No, because guess what? The whole thing produces, like the Zuckerberg thing, like if you do this correctly, this money drops down here and just keeps fueling it. right? That's compounding continuity, you guys. That's what I want you guys to understand. Okay? Yeah. That's how you get to $100 million a year ARR, right? That's what we did at ClickFunnels. I'm not changing anything. I'm not reinventing the wheel. That's what we did. And he was like, man, Russell, you do a lot of webinars. You do a lot of challenges. Like, why do you do that? Like, because we're still growing. This is how we do it. We do it live. Evergreen keeps running. Pedro and I did a challenge on challenges, launched the whole thing, evergreened it, and it keeps driving traffic. We do another one, and like, it keeps happening, okay? So your dramatic demonstrations evergreen, okay? And now, then you move on to level 3 continuity, which is the high ticket, right? And again, the goal is to get 3.5% of your subscribers to upgrade to level 3 continuity. And you do that through paid challenges, live events, and phone sales. Okay? And so again, 3.5 will drop the bottom line down here. It means from 45,000 active members, we got 1,200 people who join $25,000 a year continuity program. And primarily for me, we do that through live and virtual events. How many of you guys, by the way, and hold on, this is not sales pitch, this is not in the plans, so don't think I'm like, but I'm just curious, like if we were to do Funnel Hacking Live, and then 6 months later we did like the Secrets of Success event like this. It's all about personal. How many of you guys are like interested in something like that? Yeah, that'd be fun, right? Just throwing that out into the world, see what happens. Anyway, but I was like, we'll definitely do virtual events, and we'll do things like that. Eventually, they'll be getting people in. This might not be for 2, 3, 5 years from now. Who knows? But that'd be the next phase for me. Is like now we start selling high ticket stuff, and we do it through virtual live events. Okay? So you guys, that is the process and how I plan on making Secrets of Success a $100 million a year company using Linchpin in the next 24 months, and how you guys can funnel hack what I'm doing in your business at the same time. Does that make sense? Is that useful? I'm hoping that ties everything together for you guys. As I said, day number 1, I talked about Linchpin. We went piece by piece by piece by piece. Now you're seeing like, here's a practical application of what the Linchpin actually looks like. Now I got a question for you guys. You guys go ask you a question? Now that you guys have seen it, you understand it, you see the pieces of it, you know that I'm on like step 12 of this. I'm a little bit ahead of you guys, but I'm doing it, I'm executing on it in perfect order, step by step by step. How many of you guys like me to hold you on the hand on this journey as you are going through this process with me? Yeah? Okay, as you guys know, my goal, the reason why we do this whole Funnel Hacking Live thing is I want to get you guys on stage. Yesterday for me is my favorite part of the entire year. Standing up here, and how many of you guys are here last night? Like for, what, 2 hours? Person after person coming up, and like, man, half of you guys are crying, you're telling me you changed your life. Like, this is why I keep doing this. People are like, Russell, you make enough money, why don't you stop? It's like, because I experienced that. I see it in their eyes, people like you guys coming up saying, man, you changed my life. I was one way, now I'm another way. It's because you were here, because you did this stuff. And so that's why I'm so excited. My whole mission is to get more of you guys to win this. And the honest reality is like, I don't actually care if you guys make a lot of money. That matters less to me, but I do know that if people are gonna try to change the world, they can't do it when you're under debt and pressure, right? If we can alleviate that from you guys by giving you the tools and systems to build businesses, then I know you guys can give, you can serve, you can change people's lives. Right? 2 people yesterday got the 2 Heart Award. That means they donated $1 million to charity. Like, you can't do that when you're struggling under financial pressure, right? So my real motivation, yes, I want you guys to win 2 Commonwealth Exports. The reason why is because I know that when you have that freedom, you can have the ability to serve so many more people than you ever could otherwise, okay? And so what I want to do is I want to invite you guys. Our 2 CCX members over the last year, we've been working really, really close